Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 21st of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, a lot of fans have been very curious on whether or not Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be able to really pull things off when it comes to this new Star Wars universe by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing that we do know about Jon and Dave is that they are very dedicated to their work right now. Star Wars Ahsoka, so far, the scripts are moving along very smoothly. So far, the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic is going through a lot of changes and rewrites as we speak, so that's also got a lot of setbacks due to the GINA CARANO situation that happened back in February. And then, of course, we got Mando Season 3 and 4, which is really going to be worked on back-to-back, both through the script writing process and principal photography when they begin filming. So overall, the past couple of months, give or take, we do know that a lot of changes have been happening behind the scenes. Over at Lucasfilm, a lot of fans around the world have been very afraid on what Star Wars is going to become with the Kenobi TV series, like things as if, what is Disney going to do with the show? Are they going to pull it off? Are they not going to pull it off? All these different aspects, all these different questions. Now, what's really exciting all has to do with Jon Favreau and what he was really able to do with this new Star Wars universe moving ahead. Obviously, Jon Favreau is dedicated to his work. He is a guy that really wants to just make the Star Wars fandom as happy as possible. And that's exactly what he did with the return of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, as well as bringing in Ahsoka Tano in the mix, Bo-Katan, and even Boba Fett, and among other characters that are about to come into the Book of Boba Fett, Mando Season 3 and Season 4. So with that being said, what's really intriguing about all of this, alright, is of course with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects. Both creators Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are hard at work on developing a brand new set of TV shows, such as Mando Season 3 and 4, the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic, as well as Star Wars Ahsoka. Now, it's best described that recently creator Jon Favreau just ended yet another major plan that was being put together by Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. It's described that recently Jon Favreau had the authority to cancel a major project that has been in development, which was going to be a High Republic Star Wars movie that would arrive on the Disney Plus platform, and that now both Jon, George, and Dave are working on early plans to creating a Knights of the Old Republic film to arrive on Disney Plus sometime in the near future. It's noted that Jon Favreau's plan to bring back Knights of the Old Republic stems from his passion from reading the books about Darth Revan and more. Kathleen Kennedy was originally creating a long-planned High Republic Star Wars film that would be considered the first film to arrive on Disney Plus. It's best noted also that Jon Favreau was given the authority to cancel Kathleen Kennedy's plans for the High Republic film by Disney CEO Bob Chapek and other higher-ups over at Lucasfilm for Jon Favreau to take over the department of what will be the first film to arrive on Disney Plus as an experiment to see how films work on a streaming service instead of the theaters. Now, they are aiming for Knights of the Old Republic to be a small-scale film for starters as they begin to experiment, and are aiming for a 24 or 25 release date. Now, here's the thing about small scale, and this is something that I think a lot of fans really need to know about. Now, the small scale films are basically going to be films that are going to be centered on a handful of characters. They're not going to make it a very expansive movie like Lord of the Rings is, right? They want to make it more small scale, focusing on maybe 3 to 4 characters and kind of dealing with their struggles and all of those, storylines. So when we look at everything related to the Knights of the Old Republic era, alright, this matches directly up with what we heard recently about a new Knights of the Old Republic video game, a remake to be exact, that's being put in the works as we speak. This is really ultimately exciting because obviously a lot of fans love that era of Star Wars because of how it is basically Star Wars in medieval times. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys, but that is exactly what it is. It is Star Wars in medieval times. And when we look at everything related to Darth Revan and Darth Malgus and all these fan favorite characters from that era and timeline, Obviously, Jon Favreau, he's a true fan. He's a very passionate Star Wars fan that just really wants to bring it to life. Now, about these films, alright, I am very glad and happy that Jon Favreau finally finalized the decision of canceling the High Republic film that was going to actually be put on the Disney Plus platform. It was actually geared toward being a low-budget Star Wars movie, also a small-scale film. Basically, the plan here is that they want to actually experiment with movies arriving on Disney Plus, like actual new Star Wars films arriving on the streaming service, in order to kind of compensate, what's going to come out in theaters. Since they don't overdo it in the theaters, have some movies come out on a streaming service. That's what they're aiming to do starting in 24 to 25. And that, I honestly believe it could work. They're aiming to make the movies, very much more small scale, a little bit more shorter than theatrical releases, this way that they can experiment, see what works, and see what doesn't work. Now, obviously, Jon Favreau is a very busy man. I think he's in this for the long haul when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, this man is really going to do everything that he can to bring Star Wars back, and I do believe that he's going to bring it back on its feet. Obviously, he's a long-time Star Wars fan. He knows what he's talking about. He's 54 years old, guys. He can be doing Star Wars for a very, very long time if he wants to. We look at some directors, producers, writers, etc. They're in their 70s. So it just makes you imagine exactly what Jon Favreau can do for the next, decade, maybe even more than that. So the other thing is that we also know that Kathleen Kennedy has also been having a hard time with the High Republic era. We're talking about Star Wars The Acolyte, of course. Star Wars The Acolyte is a very interesting situation right now because they have been going through a lot of rewrites still. I still believe that they're not going to get this thing released next year. It's looking more and more like 2023, to be honest with you guys. I don't believe that we're going to be getting that 22 release. So Jon Favreau obviously is very dedicated. He's very determined to bringing Star Wars back to the way it used to be before 2012. When we look at everything that happened after 2012, Kathleen Kennedy basically backstabbed George Lucas. She really betrayed him. She did not promise him what she had promised in that famous interview from 2013 at that table. So, Kathleen Kennedy, ultimately, we do know that there's a lot of problems coming her way when it comes to Star Wars. This, by far, was probably the biggest development when it comes to Disney Plus as a service, is that the experimental first Disney Plus Star Wars movie to be produced and made by Disney is now not the High Republic, but it is actually switching over to Knights of the Old Republic. Disney right now is very much in a desperate mode because we can see how they're reviving some of the old Legends books. Now they're also doing a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, they are really trying to go all out on satisfying the hardcore Star Wars fans. And I don't blame them, because if you don't do anything now, it's a make or break situation. Star Wars does still have a chance to thrive and to survive well, and I think that John and Dave are very well on the path to doing that with Star Wars Ahsoka, Mando Season 3 and 4, and what they are involved with on the Kenobi TV series, and yes, they are involved. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.